Hello, everyone. I'm Reece, and this is my brother Chris. Paul was our dad. Some of you guys might know of me, of how much I tested my dad's patience. You know, there's never going to be enough words to describe my father as a man. In his lifetime, he touched so many lives and truly embodied the traits of what a man should be. He was my best friend, my protector, my counselor, and my hero. He was the best father a son could ever ask for, and most of all, the most amazing grandfather that I could ever have given my son. My dad was the most understanding man that I've ever had in my life. Anything I was going through, he always knew the answer. He always knew just what to say to make everything okay. But of all things that my dad was, I believe that what my father will always be remembered as of how loving and compassionate he was. Just to show you one of the very last experiences I had with my father, we were on our way back on a scouting park for an elk hunt in Munns Park, Flagstaff, when we stopped in Camp Verde. Stopped at this rundown gas station that was out of business, and my dad had noticed this lady had been pacing back and forth around her car. And then when my dad looked, her back tire was completely exploded, inoperable. So my dad had me get out of the car, start breaking out the jack, the tire iron, and when my dad started talking to her, come to find out, she was on her way to visit her family and her mom, who had just had a stroke. She had no money in her pocket, and that tire that was exploded was her spare. Being the man that my dad was, had me throw his tire into the truck. We loaded her up into Walmart, brought her back over, and my dad had bought in her a tire, a brand new spare tire, put money in her pocket. While we were waiting for her tire, most of all, after learning her story, my dad had found that she had turned her back on God. One thing that my dad was always was a shepherd, a true man of God. After speaking with her, ends up turning away and coming back to God. I love my father. I will forever try and embody and pass his traits to my son. And I want to thank you all for being here. His squad especially, for putting a smile on his face. My father was the happiest man I've ever met. Thank you guys for being there.
As my brother said, my name is Chris. I'm my dad's eldest son. My family and I wanted to thank all of you deeply for showing your love and support. In your attendance, prayers, thoughts, gestures, through this difficult and tragic time for us. At this time, I really want to thank the ones who spoke before me in having the courage to stand up here and share the kind of words about my father and provided to this world his immense impact on it. I know it's hard to deliver these amazing memories through this pain and mourning. So again, my family and I thank you from the bottom of our heart. The one thing my dad loved was being a police officer. From the day he joined the Air Force Security Forces to the time he served with the Phoenix Police Department, he wore that uniform and badge with pride, and he attacked his job with care and compassion. One of the many great memories I have is when we were little, was going into the toy store looking for toys, or knowing him, magic tricks. He always used to use those tricks to calm children down in distress calls, as Ed was saying. He'd get me and my brother a toy because we definitely couldn't share. It just never worked. But he would always scurry off to the toy car aisle. I never understood why. But he'd find himself a replica police car and add that to the checkout line with our toys. Me and my brother always wondered why we never saw those toys when we got home. Those were for him. He collected them. And through that, as I look at it now, the kid inside him that was always present shouted and screamed that he would always be a cop. And it's what he always stood for. You know, hearing the stories that Sergeant Jim Greenlee and his partner of many years, Lance Miller, who he considered his brother, and his squad that watched his back every day, it just showed through the 23 years of service of the department that a motto never broke with him. It never. You always leave something better than you found it. He loved working with you guys, and I cannot thank you enough for watching his back all those years. You are his family, and you'll always be a part of ours. This man was the greatest teacher I've ever had. Even still beyond this hard time, he continues to teach me those life lessons because I know you are here with me now, helping me through this. He taught me so much and has loved our family so much without waver. He shielded us from the dangers of his job because he never wanted us to worry about what he did when he was on patrol. As I think of it now, I find it incredible how well he balanced everything with family, friends, his work, his passion in martial arts, and the times we can really test his patience. Even with all those obligations, he made time for everything, everyone, and you never felt left out, and you always know it was done the right way with him. Dad, you were the biggest and always the biggest influence in my life. You lived a love of being kind to your neighbor and treating everyone the fairest you could on and off duty. You treated Mom like royalty and loved her with every being of your body. And that demonstrated to me on what it looks like to be a good husband. You showed me what it looks like to be an excellent father through examples and experiences with me. You always made me feel loved. You showed me what it looks like to be an amazing friend. Because of this tragic event, the people around us made sure we knew how he impacted their lives. And I can keep listing a million different lessons and experience on what my dad has taught me as his son. But I know all these lessons were a blueprint to make me a better man. A man like you. A man I hope to strive to be. Dad, we love you and miss you, and know you're watching us right now. We will see you again someday. Thank you.